Right. So let's talk about how falling in love at a very young age, or basically getting infatuated by somebody at a very young age. By young age, I mean your teenage, or maybe sometimes even your early 20s, affect or influence the most important decision that you're going to make in your life, that is your marriage, regardless of what gender you are. uh, Love is the greatest blinder of all times. Emotional investment is the greatest blinder of all times. You will stop seeing anything that person has and that could potentially damage you or ruin you. हम बहुत दफ़ा बात करते हैं कि पेरेंट्स की हुई मैरिजेस और शादियाँ कामयाब हो जाती हैं और अपनी की हुई शादियाँ जो है वो नाकाम हो जाती हैं. व्हाट इज़ द रीज़न बिहाइंड? क्योंकि जब पेरेंट्स कोई काम करते हैं, और प्रॉब्ली जब आप कोई काम करते हो अपने दिमाग से और अपने गार्ड्स को ऊपर प्रोटेक्ट करके रखे हुए, तो उसमें you take everything into account. You see that person's deen, that person's character, that person's behavior, that person's standing in the community, that person's competence, everything based upon what are your standards, what kind of man you want to live with. Then you talk to his family, then you talk to friends, and then you take honest input of people and you think upon it. On the other hand, when you are invested in that person and somehow you have been fooled into believing that that is the most right person for you and that you cannot live without them, and xyz things that people do when they're in love, you cannot see anything. All of these things, they go into shade. Like while making a decision, if you know that you have to make a judgment based upon your ability to see, and these are the glasses that if you will put it on, all you see is darkness, will you put those glasses on? No, you will not. And then the question arises कि no, अपने हाथ में थोड़ी होता है. You do not fall in love by choice. Yes, you do not fall in love by choice is true for as far as, that love at first sight or infatuation or admiration is concerned. Like, yeah, admiration could be involuntary, but attachment is a choice. You always have a choice to let anybody cross your boundaries. And this is not some kind of lesson that I've learned over the time or that I'm conveying based upon the piousness, God forbid, that I am claiming here. It is a lesson that comes out of trial, error, failures, traumas, whatever you call it. And that lesson, it has taught me and it has taught so many women around me and men equally, that attachment is always a choice. Okay, you saw somebody, you like them, you like the way they talked, you like the way they dressed, XYZ thing. Now you have a choice. Will you contact that person? If they contact you, will you respond to that person? If you two are engaging in a romantic conversation, where do you think this conversation is going to go? Obviously, you're going to get emotionally attached to this person. And regardless of what the whole world will say about them, if like everybody starts to chant, oh my God, this person is a walking red flag, you're still going to say, oh my God, all of you are blind, you cannot see, you're all like enemy of my happiness, or aapko kuch samajh nahi aata hai, and this and that. When असल में ऐसा होता है कि they are the people who do not have that emotional blinder that you're putting on. And so the purpose of this conversation that you should have with anybody that you trust in your life is to not let that decision of marriage influenced by something that is so temporary. Believe me, this person that you have so blindly and fall in love with and head over heels with, it will just take 15 seconds or even less to entirely shift your perspective about them, to absolutely delete them from your mind when you will, God forbid, get to know about the kind of person that person is when you will take those glasses off. I don't get it. Like, this is the thing that should be studied. There should be proper research laboratories on it, that why most women, they leave good, kind, respectful guys who their families admire, who their friends admire, and they choose the kind of guy who everybody is warning them about. And in the longer run, they actually get to know that those warnings were right. And your own judgment, which was so blinded, regardless of how wise you think you are, regardless of how, good at judgment and how calculated and how XYZ things you are going to make a mistake when you're emotionally invested in somebody. So if you see that pattern in yourself, like, you're liking that person and you're getting attached to their input, to everything that you say, you are waiting for their acknowledgement, you're waiting for their admiration, things like those are the signals that you need to put a stop on it. Involve your families very, very, very early on. Like, this is my personal advice to anybody who feels like, they're driving towards somebody, regardless of your age, in Involve your elder sister, involve your mother, father, whoever you are comfortable with, and proceed with things alongside them. Like if it is a good proposal or whatever, let everybody see that it is a good proposal, before going into that trap ki jiske under you have crossed the paths so far away that even walking backwards seems like a whole lot of core now. So, and if you have passed that path, like you're like, okay, somehow I fell it, and what to do now? Somehow I'm at a position where I have been so helplessly emotionally attached to this person. So, what do I do now? So, from here, there are again two categories. You have when you involve your families, they will tell you stuff, listen to them. A guy's family is a very, 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 very important factor in your life, and that is the role that it is going to play a lot in your life. और अभी भी that hype of a drama जमा तकसीम जो हुई हुई है, why people are getting basically relating to that, because all of these things are true. These are the things that are going to influence your life, not maybe immediately but definitely in the longer run. So you have to ask yourself this one question, and this one question, I randomly came across this one question watching some reel, and that question, it really makes you stop and wonder that, oh my god, this is the right thing. That is that how you want to be loved for the rest of your life? If you are with somebody and all there is are fights and drama and unresolved trauma and whatnot, and that person is making you cry the first thing you wake up, he's making you cry or she's making you cry before going to bed, you are ghosting each other, there's no healthy communication, that person is sending you miles away from God. And if there is a concept, I do agree, some people here will say that, oh my god, there's no concept of premarital relationship, why are we even talking about it? Because it needs to be talked, because there are people who are in it and we cannot leave them out just because, oh my god, you are in this relationship and I don't even want to discuss anything with you. That won't help anybody. You have to talk to them, you have to listen to them, and then you have to help them out. These are the people who need help. So if that is how exactly how you want to spend the rest of your life, sure, I think that's a good shot, that's a good person there. That yeah, I have known this person for a long time now, and all my friends and people and family, they all say that okay, this person is a good person, because you cannot fool anybody, you cannot fool everybody. You can fool one person who is emotionally blinded, but you cannot fool everybody. Okay, so when you cannot fool everybody, you take the inputs from all those people. So there are three lessons I think that we have discussed in this video. Number one is to please work on yourself, work on your hobbies, work on your competence, be the absolute best mark whatever you're doing, your studies, your career, your bond with your family, and most importantly your bond with Allah Mia, no matter where you are at your relationship with God, because it is an ever changing and ever evolving relationship. I cannot say that this person who the whole world thing is sinning becomes closest to God 2 days later. You never know, you don't know the future, you don't know the past, you cannot judge anybody. So no matter where you are in that relationship pedigree, keep moving forward and work on yourself. So when you actually become that age where you have to get married, you have the privilege to choose based upon your standards, and you do not have to compromise or anything. Like okay, this person is a very toxic person, this person does not even know how to talk, and they go out of their bounds when they're angry, and they shout and they abuse and they emotionally exploit or manipulate, and they sometimes even, god forbid, physically assault other people. They are violent. But since I'm so in love with them, I have to accept all of these things. Like work hard to be at a position in your life where you do not have to compromise upon your standards. Number two, keep telling yourself that attachment is always a choice. You cannot even complain to God that yeah, see, I have breached the boundaries that you created and I got hurt. That, oh my god, Lamia, why you did this to me? I cannot complain because it was me who breached those boundaries in the first place. So how do I complain to Lamia? Like, he clearly said to not go near that path, it is dangerous for you, and I still went that path. Though I do not have a Lamia to put a blame upon, just like all the other things that we put blame upon him, that oh my god, why did you do that and why did you do that? So choose your attachments very, very wisely. And number three, if you have reached that position in your life that you are stuck somewhere, make a decision. The only thing that you're going to regret after coming out of an unhealthy relationship is not leaving earlier. That is the only, like, why was I with this person all this time? God, why? I should have left so earlier. So that is the only thing you're going to regret. So do not regret and do not elongate the time span of your regret. Leave. Like, exactly. Leave that person. You will heal. Believe me. Maybe some months, maybe some years, you are definitely going to heal. But if you will stay with that person, that trauma will continue, will multiply, and your life, God forbid, can end up becoming I don't know what.